Alright, what's guys, Coin here, back again with a VIP on the channel, and today the time has come once again, obviously with the recent release of the brand new Summer Ball Ultra featuring Ultra Blue Kaioken Goku. It is time for me to once again do another LF/Ultra tier list, of course this time for the month of March of 2022, of course. Now obviously this is my own personal opinionated tier list. You don't have to agree with absolutely everything I say. If there is a certain take that you don't necessarily agree with, you don't have to go into the comment section and be like, how dare you slander a Vegeta. In my opinion, you should consider uninstalling yourself from this war. So please do understand that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy the video and let us get on with the tier list. All right, we are here ready to do this tier list for the month of March. Of course, I always do these videos a bit late, but I mean, usually they don't release the LF unit or Ultra unit, whatever, until like close to the end of the month or second half of the month or whatever. So it is what it is. We are here though. Obviously, we do have our array of characters here. There's 31 characters here in total. Obviously, there's 29 LFs plus including the 2 Summer Ball Ultras, because obviously I do like to rank the Summer Ball Ultras and LFs in the same list. So there's that. So obviously, as always, we do have the previous tier list here. So obviously, in case if you didn't watch the last tier list video for the month of February, which is when LF Jiren came out and all stuff, and I initially ranked him, I did make some changes to the tier list. As you can see, there's no longer a C tier, because I felt like C tier was almost worthless, because I would only end up putting 1 unit there. So I mean, might as well just remove it, and basically whoever's dead last in B tier is the worst unit on the tier list. It's as simple as that. Like that, I feel like that's pretty obvious to understand, pretty easy to understand. And then in place of removing C tier, I actually did add a Z plus tier, which is where I'm going to be ranking the Summer Ball Ultras. So that way they're in their own tier, and then at that point the rest of the tier list is just reserved for the LFs and all that stuff. And I mean, the current Summer Ball Ultras we have, I feel like they are that good to the point that I feel like they are in their own tier, even above every other character and all that stuff. So there's that. But that's the changes I made to the tier list and all stuff. So obviously Blue Kaioken Goku and Ultra Gogeta are the only 2 Summer Ball Ultras here. They will be put in Z plus tier and all stuff. Everyone else will be in the rest of the tier. So there's that. So in terms of the tier list for last month, you do have obviously the tier list last month. I don't know why I'm saying that, whatever. So obviously Ultra Gogeta is number 1 on the tier list and all stuff. The rest of the tier list, you can look at it and all stuff. So let us start off, of course, as always, the one and only LF Perfect Cell is always the first one to get ranked. I'm actually gonna try and move a little bit quicker. I always say that, but I always end up taking quite a while anyways. But I mean, regardless, this video is gonna be kind of lengthy anyways. So Cell, definitely still good. I haven't used them lately, and I don't actually remember the last time I fought against Cell, now that I think about it, but I still think Cell's good. I actually did watch a a couple of showcases of him recently just to familiarize myself with him. The main issue right now, he's definitely still good for sure, and he can hold himself, quite well in this meta. It's just the problem is, especially after using Kaioken Goku, because obviously Kaioken Goku and Cell have the same mechanic where obviously they have the exact same type of unique gauge where you charge in order to fill it up. Goku's fills up so much faster, it's actually ridiculous, dude. Cell's takes 5 million years to build up or whatever, and Cell doesn't need it. I mean, pre-gauge, he's okay. Like once he fills up his gauge, he can still put in work and all that stuff, but it takes so long to fill up. That's Cell's issue. He just takes too long to build up and for him to be like at his peak and all this stuff. That's the problem with Cell. If he came out frame 1 with his unique gauge filled out, he would definitely be quite a bit better. But it's just the fact that regen is not in the craziest spot. Androids are also not in the absolute craziest spot. He's definitely still very good, but I don't know. You know what? We're going to put him in S tier. We're going to put him in the exact same place as the last tier list. He was dead last in S tier, but I feel like he is still good enough to the point that he is S tier worthy, but he's definitely not the absolute craziest all stuff. So there's that. Vegito Blue, give him his plat equip, please. A plat equip or a Zenkai, please. He's been waiting almost 2 years in this game, and he still doesn't have platinum equipment. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he got a Zenkai first, and then they gave him his plat equip, or they gave him his plat equip at the same time. Who knows? He may never get a plat equip. I will never know at this point. They're just taking too long. Vegito Blue at this point has just aged out. I feel like he's just old. He's old. Like, he definitely does need help for sure. There's just better options on his teams and all that stuff, so I'm not gonna focus on him too long. He's just aged A tier. There's that. FSK is A tier. He does have increased value slightly just because of Goku and Blue Goku, who's very good and all this stuff. Very powerful yellow unit as well. There's also other powerful yellows as well, being like Future Gohan, Full Power Frieza, Bardock as well, even like who else? Gogeta Blue, even there's other ones as well, but like, you know, there's a lot of powerful yellows, so obviously FSK does have value, but I definitely don't think he's in the craziest spot of all time, because you still have to remember this guy still exists. Obviously, you still also have Sword of Trunks, who's definitely still good. You even have Hakai Beerus, who's very good and all that stuff. Revival Frieza. So there's still a lot of powerful blues for sure. So definitely reds are still not in the craziest spot ever, but they're definitely in a better spot because now that Goku and Goku came out and all that stuff. So FSK definitely is good for sure. I haven't used them. I may potentially use him just to see how he's holding up, but I have fought against him recently. He can definitely still put in work for sure, but definitely not like the king of the game that he used to be and all stuff. So there's that. Jiren, the boy, full power Jiren. Obviously, he was the main addition to the tier list last time when I did, you know, the tier list and all stuff for last month. I still think he's E tier. He's just amazing. The more I've used him, the more he just impresses me and all stuff. He's just very good, especially on LOE. I still think LOE is his best setup, running him alongside Revival Frieza and LF Full Power Frieza. It's just such a fun setup. Like, Jiren just absolutely clears everyone in his path. Like, it's ridiculous. So now you have Full Power Frieza as well, who I also think is E tier. I'm gonna put him above Jiren. Frieza is just ridiculous. Like, the increased value as in this meta with the endurance nullification and all this stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of powerful purple units and all stuff in this meta. The state of LOE right now, especially him synergizing very well with Revival Frieza and all stuff. Just Frieza is just absolutely amazing. Very, very good, well-rounded character in this meta. Just very good. Again, I've said this lately in my past couple of tier list videos. For certain units that I feel like I'm gonna put like around the same spot and all stuff, I feel like I shouldn't really like dwell on them for too long, just because I've already explained like why they're in that specific tier multiple times already. I don't need to keep going, so I'm probably just gonna give a brief explanation and then just move on. So keep that in mind. I don't know if you want a more in-depth explanation for some of these characters and all this stuff. Not saying I'm gonna do it with every character, but like a lot of these characters I'm probably gonna do it with just because I've done it so many times. And also, so there's that. Same thing with Bardock. Bardock I still think is SS tier. I feel like Bardock is kind of underrated and all stuff. I may actually do another video on Bardock, especially since I did finally get him to 3 stars. I did multi Z power him with the LF multi Z power that you get from the Hoi Poi coins, actually, since he was only 100 Z power away from 3 stars, since I never pulled him off his initial banner and had to resort to pity. So there's that. So I had him at 2 stars, but now he's 3 stars, so now he's giving the HP buff to the Z ability, so now I can actually properly run a triple HP, you know, setup with him and all stuff. So there's that. I will revisit him and all stuff, so definitely stay tuned for that. But Bardock I just think is amazing. He definitely obviously isn't the type of unit that comes out frame 1 just absolutely destroying everyone, you know, like Goku and Blue Goku or Ultra Gogeta or a lot of other characters, but he's definitely very good. He can take a little bit to build up. It's not like the longest ever, but it can definitely be a little bit to build up and all stuff. But I feel like honestly it can be pretty sustainable, especially if you have my higher stars and all that, especially if you run him like Fusion Warriors, especially if you have the triple HP setup with him, you know, in the leader slot giving HP. You have Super Vegito on bench giving that HP buff and the strike attack and defense. You have Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks giving that 20% HP and all stuff. Like, you can have a pretty durable setup obviously with Bardock, and him healing on green cards as well. And especially once an ally dies, he gets crazy. Again, a lot of people view the fact that, you know, he gets a lot better with an ally being dead as something he absolutely needs, like something you have to go out of your way to get. I don't think that's the way you should use Bardock. I feel like Bardock, you just use him normally. If you happen to have a defeated ally, then at that point, cool, he gets the buffs. But I feel like a lot of the buffs he gets when an ally dies is not absolutely necessary for him. It's definitely good for him, it makes him better, but it's not something I feel like you should go out of your way to get with him. I don't think that's the correct way to utilize Bardock and all stuff. So that's just me though. So Bardock's definitely very good for sure. So SS tier. So there's that. I do think he's a little underrated. So there's that. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is the best LF in the game. Again, especially him. I feel like I don't need to keep explaining why he's the best LF in the game. Like, he's the best. That he's very good. Just does good damage. He can tank very well, and also especially with 80% cut. Blast armor and strikes, you know, the revival notification, well, not revival notification, but the anti-revive mechanic, obviously, especially with revival Frieza being very prominent in the meta and all that stuff. Certain other, well, revival I guess revival Frieza is the most common revival character you fight against. Revival Gohan, I actually don't remember the last time I fought against a revival Gohan, now that I think about it. I don't know, whatever. In terms of the other revival characters, you don't really fight against them and all stuff, so there's that, but still very good for him to have and all that. The two-way cover change he does have against both strike and blast, it's just always super valuable to have and all that. So Gogeta's just very, very good. Just an overall very well-rounded character, especially ever since he got his platinum equipment. Just very good, you know, on the best team in the game and all stuff. So that's all I have to say. That's all I'm going to say about Gogeta. Gogeta is just the best LFU in the game. Simple as that. All right. Future Gohan, again, I just think is Z tier. He's also another character I don't really have to say much. Just has amazing utility all around. Very well-rounded character and all stuff. Obviously, I feel like the correct way to utilize Future Gohan is more so of a defensive / utility based support type character. I feel like that's where he shines the best. He can be okay offensive wise, especially in certain situations and all stuff, but for the most part, I feel like he's at his best serving as more of a support like type character role with his insane utility and all that, the endurance, just all that stuff. Like, he's just overall a very well-rounded character, so there's that. Did I actually have him above Jiren? I did. I think I'm going to actually put him up behind Jiren, because Jiren is just ridiculous. Like, he's very, very good. I just think Jiren is just very good. Like, definitely Future Gohan. I feel like this, you can probably, like, you can have it either way. You can put up Future Gohan above Jiren, or you can put Jiren above him. Like, honestly, I don't think it really matters too much, but I personally, for me, I'm gonna put Jiren above Future Gohan. I don't know. This is definitely something, maybe, like, depending on the day and all stuff, I'll probably, like, switch these two around or something. But for now, I'm gonna put Future Gohan behind Jiren, so there's that. Okay. This unit, things might get a little spicy here with this, okay? So obviously, we're gonna put him here. Last time I did have him behind Vegito Blue. I'm gonna put him above Vegito Blue, especially, like, again, Vegito Blue at this point is age. Maja Vegeta definitely has age for sure, but I mean, if you've seen any of my recent videos, and I've done like, what, 3 videos on him in this month alone, and I'm probably gonna be doing another one pretty soon for next month and all stuff since at this point, I'm basically doing a monthly series for Maja Vegeta. I always try my best to at least get one video out for him per month, because he's my favorite character in the game, so there's that. But Maja Vegeta, I mean, he's performed well, especially with the release of Ultra Goku Blue Goku, him doing that additional damage against Goku and all stuff, like, even against Goku and Vegeta and all stuff, a lot of their units, he performs very, 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 very well. But you understand why I said this is going to be a bit interesting in a little bit. Let me rank some other characters first, and then we'll get to it later. But he's going to stay there for in A tier for now, so there's that. LF Piccolo, it's an interesting character because I don't really use him that much, but actually I did reuse him somewhat recently, and Kid Buu as well. We're going to rank both of them. I feel like S tier, honestly, for the most part. I'm probably going to say it now. I'm going to put Kid Buu above Cell, okay? I actually did use Kid Buu recently, so yeah, S tier for the most part. I feel like it's actually probably gonna stay the exact same. Maybe there might be one change and that's it, but for the most part it's gonna stay the same. I actually did use Kid Buu recently because I actually did pull him off of the Jiren banner off of Daily Summon, and I finally got him to 6 stars, and I actually did record a video for him. I'm probably not gonna put it out though, because I'm not really a fan of how that video came out. Not because of how Kid Buu performed. He performed fine. It's just overall just more so my mood in that video and just everything else. It just was, I'm not a fan of how that video came out just in general. But Kid Buu definitely did perform quite well, actually. Definitely a bit better than I expected, for sure. He can definitely still be very good, but again, it's definitely a bit situational and all stuff. But he can definitely be very good for sure once he gets going. The insane vanish recovery, he can still output pretty good damage and all stuff. Tanking wise, he's definitely not the craziest for sure, but he's definitely still good. He's definitely still good for sure. It's just, again, same thing that I said about Cell earlier, sorry. Regen is not in the craziest spot ever, but it is what it is. Piccolo, same thing about him. He's definitely still very good for sure. He can definitely be a good tank and all that. He supports a little bit, but he's not like a crazy like support thing or whatever. That's not his main role. He's obviously more so to be. He's more so meant to be a defensive base unit that has some solid offensive capabilities. His offensive capabilities can definitely still be quite solid and all stuff as well. I actually did use him recently alongside the Kid Buu in that video that I just mentioned. I did record earlier. He definitely did perform fine, but I don't really have that much experience with him. I'm just mainly going off of past experiences with him for the most part and all stuff. So whatever. We're just gonna keep him there and all stuff for now. So there's that. Revival Gohan. SS tier. Can I put him above Bardock? No, I'm not. No, Bardock's good, but like, no. Let me stop sucking off Bardock. Okay, let me stop sucking off Bardock beyond belief. Okay, it's gonna get to a point where if I keep sucking him off, I'm gonna put him like right here or something. Like, no. I have to chill. I have to know my boundaries. Okay. Gohan's above Bardock, okay? Gohan's definitely still good for sure. He's definitely still good. He's definitely not the absolute craziest. Definitely at this point, especially in his pre-revived state, he's definitely aged out a little bit. Definitely once he transforms, he can still be an absolute powerhouse. But you know, Gohan has definitely aged a little bit. He's definitely not the absolute craziest. There's a lot of other units that are better than him, but he's still good for sure. So there's that. He's better than Bardock. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Gogeta Blue and S tier, the GOAT, my king. Very good still, has insane value and all stuff. Still can put in quite a bit of work and all stuff. Still can do good damage. Has decent sustainability, mainly with his healing and all stuff. Green card counter is still absolutely devastating to land and all stuff. I actually have been landing it somewhat. I actually have been, well, I've been using him somewhat lately. Before Goku Goku came out, I actually was using him a decent bit, and I was able to get the green card off a couple times, and that green card counter is still devastating for sure. But ever since Goku and Goku came out, I've been using him because he's just the best yellow for God Key and all stuff. So there's that. But Gogeta Blue is definitely still very, very good for sure. Definitely very good. Still waiting for his plat equip though. A lot of people were really hoping that his plat equip would have come out, especially with the latest reveals and stuff. It didn't come out. I'm actually not too surprised. I didn't have my hopes set too high. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Yeah, Super Saiyan 4 Goku I think is that good. Again, like I said, S tier, I feel like honestly, you know what, where's Evolution Blue Vegeta? I'm actually gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna move ahead. We're gonna put these two here. Sure, whatever. We're gonna move out a little bit out of order here. And you know what, and you know what, no. Yeah, anyways. I'm not gonna explain these. Beerus, okay, Beerus is aged. He's just completely aged. It's been literally over 2 years since he initially got a Zenkai or whatever. He's aged at this point. He's completely aged out, I feel like he honestly, he needs another Zenkai at this point. I don't know if they'll do that, but he's just aged out at this point. Goten, he's okay. He's okay for sure. He can definitely be a solid unit to run alongside Gohan's for the support and all stuff. He can still put in some decent blast damage and all that. It also does, but it just, he's not the craziest and all stuff. And also it sucks that he's kind of locked to being ran on Sun Family, so he only really has one proper team that it can be at his best on, so doesn't help him. So I don't know, Goten's just not the craziest. There's that. Evolution Blue Vegeta, I feel like this debate, like I feel like it's always been clear that Evolution Blue Vegeta has been better than Gogeta Blue. Now it doesn't really matter anymore because this guy exists and he's just better than both of them, but I still think Evolution Blue Vegeta is definitely still very good. Gogeta Blue is definitely still very good for sure. Evolution Blue Vegeta can still put in amazing work, especially if you get him ramped up and all stuff. He can still decimate teams and all that. So definitely don't sleep on Evolution Blue. Just because this guy came out and he's better than both of them, don't sleep on these characters. All right, they're definitely still very good for sure. Frieza, again, LOE's just been very good recently and all stuff. The amount of buffs they got definitely helped out the team significantly. I feel like this guy is probably better to run than Jiren for the most part. I feel like he just synergizes better with the team, but Jiren's definitely very good for... Jiren individually is better than Frieza, but Frieza, I feel like if you want to run the most optimal setup for LOE, I feel like you run Frieza on there as your main purple. instead of Jiren, because I feel like his support for the team and all stuff, and him holding that blue card for LOE is just way too valuable, I feel like. And I mean, he himself as a character can definitely be good. Like, he can put in work himself as well, so there's that. Frieza's just very good and all stuff. Who else? Oh yeah, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Super Saiyan 4 Goku is definitely good. A lot of people may not really, like, they still probably underrate him and all stuff. I still think he's very good. I feel like he has value. It sucks that his plot equip has not come back, because I only have one copy of it, so I can only run him on GT. I would like to run him on other teams, but it is what it is. They just haven't returned his plat equip back. And also sucks that he hasn't been on that many banners. I feel like once he starts returning on more banners and people pull more copies of him, and you know, they use him with the plat equip and all stuff, I feel like more people will realize that he's actually like quite solid. He's not the absolute craziest of all time, but he's definitely not the same Super Saiyan 4 Goku that we all once knew, especially when he initially came out, that was just an absolute garbage can and all stuff. He's not that Goku. He's a completely different beast, all right? He can definitely put in work for sure. I might actually do another video on him. Maybe. Don't hold me to it, though. But anyways, okay. This is one of the main changes to the tier list, actually. Actually, you know what? Let me do that, actually. Yeah, whatever. UI Goku's just aged at this point. He's just aged, like, simple as that. Anyways, Blue Vegeta. Last time with the tier list, he was obviously dead last because he didn't have a Zenkai that time. Now he has a Zenkai, and definitely at the start, he's definitely a very good unit. Definitely, there's things they could have given him that they definitely, you know, held back on, obviously, because they were too scared of making the Zenkai and all that. But he's definitely still very good. Obviously, the main things he could have really used could have been obviously special cover change nullification. What else? Endurance nullification on his ultimate, blast armor on his ultimate. Maybe even, like, I know another thing that people talk about is his green card, like giving ki back on his green card. Definitely that would have been nice, but I don't think that's much of like a massive issue about him. Definitely the first three things I mentioned definitely would have helped him a lot. I found the most annoying thing actually is him not having endurance nullification. Actually, like, the amount of times I've like started a combo and I could lock in my opponent's character and just get him out, but they have endurance, so obviously if I throw the ult, like, I can't kill them, like, especially against Future Gohan. The amount of times I've caught Future Gohan with Vegeta, and if he nullified endurance, I could just get them out right then and there. But because he doesn't nullify endurance, a lot of times I still throw it just to get rid of their first life. But like, it's like obviously I understand why, because the ultimate locks the enemy in. So obviously if he nullified endurance, if he had blast armor and all stuff, it would have been too broken. I get it, but at the same time, like come on, like I don't know, like characters like Kaioken Goku and Ultra Goji exist. You could have at least given him endurance nullification. That's the main thing I've found that they could have given him. That, like, special cover change nullification definitely would have been very nice for sure. I've definitely found times that it definitely would have been nice to have it, but I found more so than anything, the most glaring issue with this kit is him not having endurance nullification. At least for me personally. I don't know, that's just how it is. Yeah, but he's definitely very, very, very good for sure. Again, that sniping potential he has with that lock-in ultimate is just super valuable. You cannot overlook that at all. He can definitely dish out quite a bit of damage and all stuff. So Vegeta, in terms of where I place him, obviously last time, again, he was at the bottom tier list because he didn't have a Zenkai. I think he is actually in Z tier. Last in Z tier, but I do think he's actually that good, especially in this meta. Again, that potentially has, that sniping potential he has, I feel like it's just way too valuable. And I feel like he is actually very, like, any of his teams, you're running him on. Like, on God Key, he's one of your go-to options on God Key and all stuff. He's just way too valuable for that team. Vegeta Clan as well. Even Future, actually, I'll probably, maybe, you could probably make a case he's probably, like, on the core for Future, or you could still potentially run Goku Black and Zamasu. I would actually probably run him personally alongside like Future Gohan and Sword Flip Trunks and all that, because again, I just think his sniping potential and his damage output is just way too good for this meta, and I prefer that. Because I feel like in this meta, honestly, the way you have to play is defeat your opponent before they defeat you. I feel like that's how you have to play. Like, Goku's models are definitely very good for sure, and they can still be good defensively and all stuff, but I feel like Vegeta is just better in this meta. I don't know, I just feel like he's just a better pick for the team, at least for me personally. I don't know, any of you that prefer Goku's models, is completely fine, but for me personally, I think Vegeta's sniping potential and all stuff, and also the fact that he's also supporting as he combos and all stuff, so like I feel like he's just very good for sure. Overall, a very well-rounded character. Again, there's definitely issues with him. There's definitely things they could have given him that they obviously didn't give him because they didn't want to make him too broken. But I still think he's a very good Zenkai. Actually, you know what? I do think he is better than Super Vegito. At least as of right now. Super Vegito is still very good for sure. Don't underestimate Super Vegito at all. I just think Vegeta in this meta as of right now, especially with the fact that this guy just released and he's very good for God Key and all stuff, I just think this guy has a bit more value and has the slight edge over Vegito as of right now. We'll see how things go as time goes on, but as of right now, I think Vegeta is actually better than Super Vegito. Super Vegito, again, still very good for sure. It's just the thing is about Super Vegito is, I feel like honestly Vegeta is just more valuable for his teams than Super Vegito, because Super Vegito, obviously his best team I'll say is probably Fusion Warriors. Mono Purple obviously still exists, but I think I definitely see Fusion Warriors a lot more. I actually don't see Mono Purple as often, actually. I still run across them obviously, but definitely nowhere near as common as like a month, even like just a month ago or like 2 months ago or whatever. On Fusion Warriors, I do fight against them, but for the most part, I actually find myself not fighting against them a lot of the time, because normally when I fight against Fusion Warriors, they either bring obviously Ultra Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and then their third option for the most part is either running Future Gohan as their third, or Majub even, or heck, they even throw on Kalk and Goku as their third. So yeah, Super Vegito is definitely very good for sure, but I just think Vegeta has the slight edge over Vegito in this current meta and all stuff. So there's that. Okay. Now this is the part where things can get a little spicy with this unit, because Ape Vegeta, I actually do think Maja Vegeta is better than Ape Vegeta. All right, I know. Okay, listen. Ape Vegeta is definitely a very interesting character. A lot of mixed opinions are surrounding him and all stuff. He's a very controversial character. I just think, like, especially my last video that I did using the Vegeta Clan team, where I ran both Ape Vegeta and Maja Vegeta together, and this Green Vegeta as well, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like Maja Vegeta actually performed better than Ape Vegeta, and by a significant margin actually. Like, even in situations, like, yes, there was a couple situations where Ape was maybe at a disadvantage and obviously Maja Vegeta was in a better situation than Ape Vegeta. Yes, obviously, Maja Vegeta is going to look better in those situations, but there were also situations in that video that they were like in an even playing field. Like, it wasn't a situation where, oh, Ape was like type disadvantage, so obviously he's not going to be doing that crazy, and Maja Vegeta was type neutral. Like it was very even situations as well, and I still felt like Maja Vegeta just performed better. And I feel like that's actually, that kind of says something, just because Ape Vegeta is Maja Vegeta is over a year older than Ape Vegeta, so I feel like Ape Vegeta should easily be better than Maja Vegeta. But the fact that I'm saying that a unit over a year older than him is actually better than Ape Vegeta, I feel that kind of says something. Like, I apologize to all you Ape Vegeta fans, but Ape Vegeta is fine. He's definitely solid for sure. I did use him lately. He definitely put in work for sure. He has value in this meta and all this stuff, especially with Kalk and Goku coming out and all that. But I again, this might be a little bit of bias towards me, you know, towards Maja Vegeta, since he is my favorite unit in the game. But even excluding my bias towards him, I feel like just raw performance wise, I feel like Maja Vegeta actually, I feel like as of right now, does feel better to me than Ape Vegeta. And you know what? Actually, why am I... Yeah, come at me. Maja Vegeta is better than FSK. I don't give a okay? Maja Vegeta, he's actually impressed me lately. Like, he's not the craziest of all time, obviously. Like, definitely once we start getting to S tier, there's definitely certain units that are obviously better than Maja Vegeta. Like, I again, like I said with Bardock, I have to know my own boundaries, of course. But I do feel like he's better than 8 Vegeta, and I feel like that kind of says something. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, 8 Vegeta is definitely good for sure. He has value in this meta and all stuff, especially with this guy coming out. But yeah, anyways, let me move quicker. How long have I been recording? Okay, we're like halfway. We're 30 minutes into this recording, so I'm doing okay. Anyways, let me move a bit quicker though, so I can actually talk about the main unit you guys are all here for. Corrupted Zamasu, I'm actually gonna put it in the bottom of S tier, just because I do think he has increased value just because of this guy coming out and stuff, and especially now that we do have the Zenkai Awakening for Red Rose, actually, who I haven't done a video on, but I'm taking my my time, you know, to Zenkai Awaken and all stuff, since I'm doing it, you know, the free way. Obviously, I'm doing it for free. I'm not summoning his banner, especially since he definitely doesn't seem the absolute craziest. So there's that. I don't know. I'll see how he performs for myself when I do his video, but there's that. But obviously with him coming out, he does Zenkai buff Corrupted Zamasu and all stuff. So I feel like honestly Corrupted Zamasu could definitely perform pretty well on God Key. I don't know if he is like core on God Key and he fits on like the absolute best setup of God Key, but I do think he can perform pretty well actually, especially against Goku and Goku. He can definitely perform very well. Even against Ultra Gogeta in certain situations, I feel like he can definitely hold himself, you know, he can hold his own pretty well and all stuff. So I'm gonna put him in S tier. I'm gonna put him in S tier and all stuff. So there's that. I do think he's good and all stuff. Has increased value because of this guy and all that, and the Zenkai Awakening for Red Rose. So there's that. LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Yeah. I'm gonna do that actually. I actually do think he's a little better than Vegito Blue. Not by a large margin. Super Saiyan 3 Goku's definitely fallen off quite a bit. He's definitely not the absolute craziest meta, but he can definitely put in work for sure. He's not the absolute craziest, but I don't know. He again is kind of similar situation to Cell, where he just takes a little bit too long to build up and all that stuff. And even when he's built up, he just doesn't really match up to a lot of these other units and all of that. So it's like, I don't know. Again, he still has value just because, like, especially on the certain setup, he can definitely still perform well, especially defensive wise. He can definitely be good. His cover rescue definitely can still be quite valuable and all stuff. So, and I mean, his ultimate still has solid, you know, nuking capabilities, especially once you've built up and all stuff. But again, it does take him a while to build up and all that. So yeah, I don't know. Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I definitely do think at the very least is better than Vegito Blue, but there's that. I don't know. I'm not gonna say much about him, much else about him. So okay, finally we got to the point of the video where I know all of you were really waiting for me to rank the brand new unit of this month, of course, Ultra Cock and Blue Goku. So we're gonna rank these two together. Obviously they're gonna be both in S and Z plus tier. That's pretty obvious. So the big debate between Ultra Gogeta and Blue Cock and Goku, who do I personally think is better? I feel like I've actually I have said this in my recent videos, so I feel like it's already kind of a little obvious. Hold up, let me just get up. Nice. Okay. Anyways, all right. In terms of my opinion on both of them, I have said this in my recent videos and all that stuff. I actually do think that while both characters are very good and you can easily make a case for either one being the best unit in the game, my humble opinion, I do think that Kaioken Goku is the best unit in the game. I do think he's better than Ultra Gogeta. Ultra Gogeta, again, you can definitely make a case for either or, okay? You can make a case Ultra Gogeta is still the best unit in the game. You can make a case Kaioken Goku's best unit. Like, they're both very close to each other, but I do think Kaioken Goku has the slight edge over Gogeta, just because Goku he just does things that I feel like Gogeta just can't even match. Like, the fact that I can just stay in with Kaioken Goku and just constantly fill up his gauge and just constantly restore his vanish and just get a ton of buffs, and like he can just keep comboing and comboing and comboing. Like, I feel like it's just like he just feels like an unstoppable force. Like, Gogeta again is very good, and there's definitely moments he can even outperform Calc and Goku, especially, you know, once an allies die and he gets that lock-in ability and he goes type neutral and all this stuff. Him having blast armor, strike cards, him constantly drawing a ton of blue cards and all stuff once he fills up his unique gauge. Like, Gogeta is very good for sure. He also has insane comeback potential as well, but I feel like actually Goku, to me, I feel like actually has better comeback potential. And another thing about Goku versus Gogeta is Gogeta, I feel like, is a character where he gets a lot of things free and easy. Like Gogeta, you just click cards and you fill up his unique gauge. And oh, I get a blue card, let me click this blue card and just dish out a ton of damage. Goku is not like that. He's definitely a lot more technical, and he does take a little bit to kind of get used to using properly and all stuff. But I feel like if you know how to use him properly, I feel like he can easily outperform Ultra Gogeta. Like, again, the amount of situations, the amount of matches I've actually won because of Calc and Goku, you know, like last man standing, like 1v3 situations, and I've won because of Calc and Goku's insane vanish, like recovery and all this stuff, and him just constantly comboing and just never stopping and all this stuff. Like, he just keeps going and going and going and going. Like, he is fair. Like, overall, he's just very, very good. Like, again, Ultra Gogeta is very, very good as well, but I just think Goku has the slight edge over him. Definitely the one advantage I will definitely give to Gogeta for sure is their teams. Ultra Gogeta, obviously, you know, being ran on Fusion Wars, his main team, versus Calc and Goku being on God Key / Universal Alpha Saga. Preferably he wants to be on Universal Alpha Saga since that's what his Ultra ability wants him to be on, but obviously God Key's also, you know, is his best team actually. You can obviously run him on there as long as you put him in the leader slot and he gets all the buffs and all that. But obviously, you compare God Key, as of right now, God Key to Fusion Warriors, like, Fusion Warriors is easily better. Like, Fusion Warriors is the best team in the game. So that is the one advantage I will give to Gogeta, but I just think individually, Goku is just easily better. Like, I think overall Goku has the advantage over Gogeta. Even my 5-star Calc and Goku versus my 12-star Ultra Gogeta, I think, honestly, Calc and Goku, there's situations where he even outperforms my 12-star Ultra Gogeta. Like, that is ridiculous. Like, you could even watch all of my latest videos and all this stuff. Calc and Goku is just a different beast. Like, that's all I gotta say. Like, he's very, very good. So, there's that. Again, Ultra Gogeta is good. You can make a case for either or, but personally for me, I do think Goku is the best team in the game. So, there's that. Goku and Vegeta. This is an interesting unit just because when they initially came out, especially, they were crazy, undisputed best unit in the game. Now that they're, especially ever since they got out of the boost system and all stuff, I feel like they have definitely seen quite a significant drop in their performance and all stuff. I feel like the boost actually, like, the more time has gone on, the more I've used them and the more I've seen from them, I feel like the boost actually was really heavily affecting them, because you can just tell. You can just tell their damage output is just nowhere near as good. Like, it's still good. They can still output good damage and all stuff, and they're definitely still very good for sure. But they're not the same Goku and Vegeta that we all saw and knew like 2 months ago or whatever. Like, you can definitely tell they're not as good. With like, the fact that they're no longer getting boosted actually does kind of hurt them actually. So with that being said, in the last tier list, I obviously did have Gogeta above them. Like, Gogeta is just very good. However, I do actually think that they actually are even below full power Frieza. You could even talk me into saying that Jiren's actually better, but I think I'm gonna leave them here for now, just because Goku and Vegeta, again, you can definitely tell that they're not as crazy because they're no longer getting boosted and all stuff, but I still think they're definitely good and they still have value and all stuff. Again, their damage is definitely not as crazy as it used to be, especially when they were getting boosted and all stuff. They're tanking as well. It mainly comes down to their stats. You look at their stats, and their base stats are just not the craziest. Even at high stars, just overall their base stats are not the craziest. I feel like they did that intentionally, obviously, just because of all the other crazy stuff they do in their kit and all that. but definitely their low stats it does hurt them. It does come to bite them in the ass and all stuff. Like it does hurt them. So because of that, I do think full power Frieza in this case does have the advantage. Again, you could even make a case that Jiren even has the advantage. Again, there's definitely certain placements. I feel like honestly, like this range, like these 3 units right here, or like honestly, like this, like the top 5, this top 5, or actually the top 7. Let's include the 2 ultras and then these top 5 right here. I feel like in this range, you can like rearrange these characters, and I feel like you can kind of like, well, I'll say more. So actually, let me exclude these 2. All right, more so this top 5 range, like these first 5 units, you can kind of like rearrange them in whatever order, and I feel like honestly, it's like it's fine. Like it doesn't really matter. Like you can make a case for each unit being in whatever spot and all that. I feel like, I don't know, like, well, kinda, maybe, I don't know, to an extent, I don't know, like. I don't know if I will say Future Gohan is like better than Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but I don't know, whatever. Regardless, Goku and Vegeta are still very good. Again, you also can't look over the fact that they do have their insane health recovery and all stuff as their combo, and also their healing and all that, their insane combo potential. Stuff, again, they're very good for sure, but you can just tell that ever since they stopped getting boosted and all that in PvP, you can definitely tell that they've significantly dropped. Like they're definitely not as crazy as they used to be. Same thing with Trunks. However, I think Trunks is definitely still very good. Trunks is going to be in the same spot as he was last time. SS tier is going to say the same. Trunks is definitely still very good for sure, but I just don't think he matches up quite to these characters and all stuff. I don't know. That's just me personally. So there's that. But Goku and Vegeta, again, very good, but they're just not as crazy. I do think Frieza, just, and especially in this current point in time, is just way more valuable and just way more crazier and all stuff. So there's that. Broly. Broly at this point, as I feel like just completely aged out. Like I feel like he actually needs to be on Super Saiyans in order to be like, in order for him to even be able to properly compete and all stuff. And even on Super Saiyans, I still don't think he's the absolute craziest. So Broly at this point, he definitely needs a plat equip for sure. Either that or a Zenkai. I'll probably say again a plat equip preferably for sure. So that's all I gotta say. Just Broly, he just doesn't really perform as well as he once used to. Simple as that. So that's all I gotta say. Now Rose. Rose, where did I have him last time? Oh, okay. I'm gonna put him here. Yeah. I do think he's 8th Vegeta is at least better than Rose. Rose definitely is fine. He definitely could use a plat equip for sure at this point for sure, but he still has value with the endurance nullification and all stuff, and he does have some nice things in his kit with the extreme bleed, the blue card going type neutral and doing AoE damage and all stuff. It just sucks that he's an LF unit that he just in general his raw damage output is just not there. Like he doesn't really do the craziest damage all the time. His tanking as well is just not the craziest. Just his stats are just not the craziest. Like that's what really hurts him. Like he does have some nice things in his kit with the endurance nullification and all stuff. He does have value, but he's definitely not the craziest for sure. So there's that. But at least he has use still in this meta, so I can't just completely write him off. And I think actually I'm probably gonna do this. Yeah, I'm gonna put Namagoku there. Namagoku, I feel like at this point is kind of aged out for the most part, honestly. Like he's definitely still solid. He can put in work and all that, especially as a last man standing character. He can be okay if you know how to use him properly. He can definitely still perform, but you need to know how to use him properly. And I just feel like even at his best, I still feel like all these characters, like at least a lot of these other characters, are just better. So there's that. Anyways, that's the tier list. So how long did it take actually? Okay, it still took a little bit, but whatever. At this point, honestly, it's expected for these tier list videos to take as long as they do, just because I'm ranking 31 units in this case in total, giving my thoughts and opinions on each one of them and all that. So it's like I even tried to go a little quicker, but it is what it is. So there's that. Here's my tier list for the month of March. Obviously, this tier list is always constantly changing every month. That's why I do one every month, because I do quite enjoy this and all stuff. So yeah, there's that. But again, this is my own opinionated tier list. You don't have to agree. Everyone has their own opinions and all stuff. So if you don't agree, that's fine. I can completely respect that. So there's that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure down below and also sub to the channel notification bell to never miss out on an upload. And also follow my Twitter, link down below, @Cornet3. And that being said, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out. Have a great one, y'all.